Now this is much more exciting. Hydrogen-boron fusion. Wow. This could solve the energy problems forever and produce infinite energy. This is one of the fusion reactors from a company called Tri-Alpha Energy. I think Binder Bauer is the main guy. The first time somebody said nuclear fusion must be fueling the reactor on the sun to produce all this star power was Arthur Eddington back in 1924. He set off a whole slew of experiments on trying to produce such power on Earth. And of course, Eddington is known for his opposition to C. Chandrasekhar's ideas on the black hole and the singularity from a collapse of a star. And eventually, of course, Chandrasekhar won the Nobel Prize. The idea of fusion, of course, on the sun, hydrogen is getting fusioned. What is the word? Into helium, and there is a competition between the gravitational pull of the helium, which has got a higher mass, and the expansion due to the heat. And sun is going to obviously keep expanding, and in 100 million years, the Earth will be too hot for water to stay in liquid and ice form. Everything will be water vapor, and sun himself is going to burn up in about 5 billion years. But in the meantime, hydrogen and hydrogen forms like tritium and deuterium are considered the prime fuels for fusion reactors. So you have fission, which is what raises all these concerns about waste and nuclear weapons and proliferation, waste disposal, and so on. And safety concerns have basically stalled its contribution to renewable energy. And we know that this debate has been going on, with some people arguing strongly for nuclear being part of the solution and some people saying it's a regret solution, as we saw here. But fusion will not have any of these problems, except that when they use tritium and deuterium, neutrons are produced which make some radioactive material by breaking down, and then the reactor has to be fixed somehow every few months. Whereas this company, Tri-Alpha Energy, figured out that using hydrogen boron eliminates this problem, and boron is available essentially for many thousand years of required fuel for such a fusion reactor, whereas tritium and deuterium are not so easily available. But the story is that to create fusion of hydrogen and boron, you need temperatures of some 5.4 billion degrees centigrade, whereas the hydrogen, deuterium, and tritium require only 180 million degrees centigrade. That sounds like a lot, but the the Hadron Collider in Europe is producing trillion degree centigrade temperatures in their nuclear accelerators and so on. So the other issue of these fusion reactors apparently is that at those temperatures you basically have plasmas, which are ionized gases stripped of electron, like the northern lights and so on, which wobble around all the time because they are very unstable and hard to control. So the big invention of this company, Tri-Alpha, is that it has found a way to spin the plasma like a top. When it spins very fast, it becomes more stable. So they have found a way of firing hydrogen into these plasma to make them rotate and be stable, and higher the temperature, faster the rotation, more the energy, and more stable the system, and so on. So theoretically, if this works, this is going to make really huge amounts of energy and basically make everything else quite irrelevant and redundant. Of course, all the energy we have from photosynthesis, fossil fuels, natural gas, and so on are all basically stored solar energy anyways, which is the fusion reactor on the sun. But it apparently takes some 90 million tons of, or maybe 90 tons of biomass to produce 1 gallon of the fuel that we use over time. And then termites came along 120 million years ago, and not so much fossil fuel is being generated because they chew on hydrocarbon and don't let it become fossil fuel. So nonetheless, if we can generate the power like stars using this hydrogen boron fusion, obviously it'll be a huge solution. And apparently they're getting close, and lots of companies like Google, Microsoft, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos are all investing in this fusion technology. And in the TAE factory office, apparently they have these flying pigs, because they think pigs will fly one day, to the skeptics who say that fusion will work when we see pigs fly. So they make a joke about it and say that maybe pigs will fly, and maybe we will have successful hydrogen boron fusion to solve the energy problem. So definitely one of the more exciting coming attractions.